everyone. So whoever is in the construction industry, you definitely want to sit down now because we really have a great presentation. And especially, it's not just me, it's not just Navis talking about our technology, it's also Marigone from SKANSKA. And we need a second microphone, please. Kelsey, microphone. Thank you. Perfect. So, I'm Heidrun. I'm one of the 2 account executives in the Nordics at Navis. And I have the pleasure to tell you a bit more about our technology today, and especially how it makes you more successful in the AEC industry. And because I'm not credible, I sell this, and of course I love our technology. I have a customer with me today, SKANSKA. Hi, Marigone.
Hello. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. My name is Marigone Selimi, and I'm from SKANSKA Norway. I'm a team leader for reality capture in SKANSKA Norway. I'm actually very happy to be here today with Heidrun and share our experience with Navis VLX. We are having VLX for more than a year, so we have built our experience on that. So yeah.
Thank you, Marigone. Perfect. So as I'm talking for 15 minutes and I don't want Marigone to just stand around here, you can take a seat again and join me later. So, very first question. Who of you has heard of Navis before coming to this event and before passing by this booth? Who knows? Yes, I hope so. You two as well. I just have a look. Serbia. That's great. Anyone from the people standing here, have you heard of Navis before? My colleagues have. That is also great. A bit about Navis and what we do and who we are. So Navis was founded in 2013 in Munich. That's where our headquarters is. And we do have 5 offices around the world. And now I have another quiz question for you. How many employees do we have? More than 300 or more than 40? Any guesses? Oh, yeah. Perfect. More than 300, exactly. We're at around 330 now. And we have more than 60 nationalities within our team, which is a lot of fun. By the way, we're always looking for talented employees as well. So if this sounds great, go to the reception and talk to our colleagues. And we do have more than 500 customers in over 40 countries. So we are quite big now, always trying to expand, of course. But that's a bit about Navis as a company. And obviously, we do laser scanning technology, as you might have guessed already. And what I'm doing now is I'll give you a quick overview of our technology, and it consists of 3 parts. And so the very first part, sorry, I missed one point, important point. Here we go, we're a software company, sorry for that. So if you think that we're a hardware company because you have seen this beautiful Navis VLX before, and yes, that's what we're mostly known for, I can tell you that the real magic happens in the software. So if you're one of our customers, you will know that we give out a lot of updates on the software side, and that's really where the innovation happens. So now that being said, first part of our technology is Navis VLX, the beautiful piece of hardware. What makes it so special? So the first point is you're very fast at capturing data. And if I say very fast, I especially compare it to terrestrial scanners. And now if you talk about how fast, that depends, of course, on what you're scanning and what your use case is. But if we look at a more or less complex environment, like a hospital or a school where you have lots of rooms to go in and out, you can scan up to 1,000 square meters with Navis VLX. If you're in a more open environment, could be a factory, for example, or an open sports arena, you would be able to scan up to 4,000 square meters per hour. So you're very, very fast with it. But at the same time, you don't need to compromise on data quality. We do get to an accuracy of up to 5 to 6 millimeters in the local accuracy. And that is also why we compare ourselves rather to terrestrial scanners than to other mobile devices. We do have the best SLAM technology on the market right now. And something that we also get very good feedback on is how easy it is to use Navis VLX. So I actually have some customers who work in big companies, AEC companies, who even give the VLX to the architects. So if the architect goes on site, they do a quick scan, and it has a lot of value for the whole team. And we do know it's quite difficult these days to actually find skilled employees and surveyors, so that's a big advantage. And one of the last points, and you see that here on the picture, but also at the VLX if you see it somewhere around, there is a screen and you do get live feedback while you scan. And that's really great because that prevents you from coming back, processing the data, and then realizing that you've missed some parts of the scan and you need to go back. So that won't happen with Navis VLX. You get live feedback and you know when there are edges where you haven't captured enough points so that you can go there and capture more points. So that's the part of our hardware technology. And now the next one is data processing. Important information, we are a cloud-first company, which means our technology, our software is hosted in the cloud. We use AWS servers in Frankfurt. And that's really great, especially when it comes to the processing. You will be way faster than if you process on-prem. You can process as many data sets as you like in parallel, and it won't have any impact on the processing time. So for example, if you have scanned 8 hours, that's 8 data sets, you process it. Depending on the settings, that will take you up to 8 to 10 hours. Usually our customers scan, go home, set it up, have a nice sleep, and the next morning you have access to all of your data. It's just 5 different settings you choose from. So it is highly automated, the processing, and it's very easy to use as well. And the last part is, if you use control points, and you see that here on the picture, you can actually upload the control points as well, georeference your data, and you will also get, that's what you see here, a notification if there is a problem with a control point already before, so that you're sure that the data you've processed works in the end. Another thing is, if you use control points, your data sets will be aligned automatically. So you save a lot of manual time after the scanning, not only during the scan, but also afterwards in the whole workflow. And when it comes to data processing, I have some customers who say that's where they save the most time, actually. Now, the last part, Navis Avion, also our software, all developed in-house. And that is actually where you then visualize the data after you have processed it. And it's more than just a visualization tool. Obviously, you look at the pictures, at the point cloud, you can do walkthroughs, but it's actually a collaboration tool. And that's also what we want you to do with it. So if you work in a big AEC company, for example, and you have lots of different teams working on the same project, you don't want to send around data, but instead, here you can give access to all of the teams. They have different roles, and they can work on the project all together, and you have one single source of truth. So that's really, really a big plus point if you have a lot of people working on the project. You can also share it with customers, of course, which we would also suggest to do, so that they can have access to their data, download, and do whatever they need to do. When we look at the functionalities of Ivion, there are 3 basic functionalities. If we look at the one picture below, that's crop and download point cloud. So if you look at the example, you have scanned a factory, for example, with different machines, and you have, or you need a model of one of the machines. You don't want to send, for example, the whole point cloud. So in this case, instead, that colleague would have access to Ivion, would go in there, choose that machine, crop and download the point cloud, and build a model based on that little point cloud. And that is a very powerful tool, to be honest, because you just save a lot of time and you don't need to send around anything anymore. The other solution is, or other functionality is mark and measure. So you're able to measure anything you like, an area, height, a horizontal distance. And you can also save that, share that. For example, for architects, that's quite useful. They use it a lot, this functionality. And another one that we have is points of interest. So if we go back to this example with the factory and the machines, we do have manufacturing companies who actually scan the production site. And then for each machine, they would put in the information how to use that machine. For example, a video, could be an audio, PDF file, you could have live data in there. And what they do is they gave access to their employees to actually go into the virtual twin and then check out the machines, do the training already at home, and then come on site to actually do their job. So this is Navis Avion, and now that's the technology. And the question is, how does this actually end construction? Yeah, perfect. Serbia is saving me here. So AEC company, AEC industry. If we look at architecture, engineering, and construction, you see 2 ticks and 1 question mark. So if you look at use cases in architecture and construction, We're very confident there. We do have a lot of customers like Skanska who actually use our technology. However, when it comes to engineering, it's not our big focus, and that's not our number one area within the AEC industry. And I will tell you a bit more with the next 2 slides about why that is. So if we look at architecture and construction, and I just show some use cases, you could have a bunch more, but I just chose the ones that I think are the most common ones. Scan to BIM could also be standing under the construction part. However, if you look at Scan to BIM, as-built documentation, refurbishment projects, those are the examples within the architecture industry. The strongest use case for us is still Scan to BIM. Especially if I look at the Nordics that I'm responsible for, I feel like in Sweden, they have already scanned every building that exists there. They're really, really far ahead of the rest of Europe, at least. And also as-built documentation is something we do see a lot. So for those use cases, why is Navis VLX such a great tool? The reason for that is that the accuracy that we offer, 5 to 6 millimeters, is absolutely enough for those use cases. But at the same time, you're just so much faster than scanning with a terrestrial scanner. And the next point is you save a lot of time. If you imagine to do those use cases with a terrestrial scanner for days, especially in the Nordics. So if we look at Norway, SKANSKA Norway, if you imagine how much you have to pay to a surveyor to scan for an hour, you're happy about every hour that you save there, because that's a lot of money. And then construction, the first use case we see on here, rescanning, is a use case we see growing a lot. So these days we have a lot of discussions about rescanning projects. So that means that we have companies that actually rescan their construction site every week or every month. And especially if you do that, again, you want to be fast, you want to save time, and you save a lot of money. And actually also the construction workers will love you if you're in and out fast. If you spend a whole day there, they won't be happy. Condition survey is another one. So if you look at big companies, big construction companies, and when they win a big project, they usually have a lot of contractors as well. So they're not doing all the work themselves. You might have 12 companies that you contracted for a project. And then there's the day of handover where they hand over their work. And then you might have those discussions afterwards. What did you hand over? Was this broken or not? Did you do this or not? And you don't want to have that. So it's super smart to just do a quick scan with Navis VLX. And then you exactly know what was handed over and you won't have those discussions. The last part is rebuilding factories, also relocating machines. I see that also a lot with my customers. So also for those use cases, Navis VLX is a great tool to just do a quick scan of the factory, and then you can plan whatever you need to do in Ivion based on that. So now if you look at engineering and you look at those use cases, measuring floor flatness, then structural steel and concrete analysis, and also slab deflection. Those are use cases where you really don't want to have a 5 millimeter deviation. I actually have that in my building where I live. Lucky me, I'm in the ground floor, but everyone above me who has a balcony, they somehow messed it up when they built the building, and the balcony is deviated a bit towards the windows, so all of my neighbors get all the rain towards their apartment. So that's exactly why you don't want to have a 5 millimeter deviation here, but the slowest possible, 1 millimeter, 2 at max. And why is Navis VLX not the perfect tool right now for those use cases? We just don't have that accuracy at this point. Doesn't mean that we're not getting there. We're always trying to improve. And we also have customers who currently do a lot of research around measuring floor flatness and actually got quite good results. But nevertheless, if you told me those were your main use cases, today I wouldn't be happy to sell you Navis VLX. I would actually send you over to our colleagues from Hexagon Leica. I'm sure they have some great tools. And in all honesty, you would also probably not go with a terrestrial scanner for that, but rather with a P series, which is very expensive. So just in all honesty, today, not us, maybe in the future. And yeah, so that's about the AEC industry. And that being said, oh, one more slide, sorry. I thought Skanska comes on. Okay, little summary here. That's the fanciest slide I actually have today. So if you look at all of these steps within a construction project or building project, whatever you want to call it, in all of those steps, Navis VLX is a great tool. So if you look at the the as-built documentation at the beginning, where you just capture what the current status is. You use Navis VLX for that. Then you do the planning in Ivion. Then you would start the construction phase, and also during the construction phase, you might do the rescanning, where you scan with Navis VLX every week or every month. And then afterwards, it's the handover that we talked about. And what is important when the construction project is done and the handover is done, that's not when it stops for our technology, because then it's operation maintenance. And again, if I look at the Nordics, we have a lot of companies that use our technology in the facility management industry. And facility management, there are, for example, a lot of building owners that want their buildings to be scanned, they want them digitized. And so also in that phase, you would still have a big use for our technology. However, I know I'm from Navis. I love our technology, and I'll tell you how great it is. And maybe for some of you, that's not credible enough. And that's why I have Marigone with me today from Skanska, who actually is a customer. And now Marigone is going to share a bit about their experience with our technology during the last year.
Well, thank you, Heidrun. Okay, I'm going to talk about how we use the VLX in SKANSKA Norway. SKANSKA Norway is one of the biggest construction companies in Norway. We build roads, tunnels, bridges, hospitals, residences, and so on. And our focus in SKANSKA Norway, which I'm part of, is to ensure that Skanska has at any time the right software and hardware in order to meet our customers' expectation. Actually, in Skanska Survey, we have traditionally been using terrestrial laser scanning as a laser scanning method, and we really feel very comfortable with that. We used to deliver high quality data to our customer, and we do not really compromise with accuracy. But as we move forward, scaling different solutions will be critical in order to meet our customers' expectation in short of time. How much time are we using on a scanning project? I have listed up some of the use cases for the Navis VLX in Skanska. From all these use cases, what we do mostly is site design. We use scanning for site design in rehab projects. And here is the big question: is the VLX good enough to use on site design? And I believe yes, it is. I mean, there is no tool that fits all approach. So the best thing is that you would combine. But if you have a huge building with many rooms, then you are saving a lot of time by using the VLX. Yeah, and as I mentioned, we already had the VLX for more than a year, so we kind of know how to use. And I think that if you understand the correct application for a mobile scanning, and if you do a good planning, then there is a key to success with a VLX. Other thing we are using the VLX for is for the as-built documentation. We are using for progress tracking and quality control. And we have just started to use in the manufacturing industry. By scanning factories. Well, the next part is about the Navis Avion, which I really love. I think it's a game changer in the RAC industry. It's a new generation of delivering data to our customers. So yeah, just if we look back just like 5 years ago, we could send a point cloud to a customer, and then it would be one architect or another consultant that would open the point cloud. Otherwise, the point cloud would be kind of unusable. but with a VLX, with an Ivion now, we are doing the point cloud even more accessible to the rest of the team. Yeah, I used to call it the all-in-one platform because in the Ivion, you can process the data. It's processing software. It's very efficient in processing. So, I mean, you can choose all the settings and just use control points there and start processing. When all the data are processed, you will publish the data with the customer by just sending a link. You can view, plan, and measure. And I mean, by using the Ivion, you have increased the availability of the point cloud. I have with me a customer voice from a big project that we did in Bergen, which is, I think, the second largest city in Norway. We have scanned a huge building with 550 rooms in 2 days, and all team is using the Ivion. So this is what I got from when I asked if they could describe how do they use Ivion. It's like it's easy to use. It's especially practical when the teams work on a project that it's scattered across the country. It's simple to just jump in and visualize a site. The alternative, of course, would be to carry out an inspection. So, as you can imagine, they are saving a lot of time. Yeah. So, I think that was all. Yeah?
Yes. Mic is on. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Marigone. Great. Great insights from Skanska. And now, of course, there is time for questions. And we love questions. So if there are any questions, please raise your hand and you'll get a microphone. I see a bunch of hands.
I'm happy to get questions, so just come on.
So actually, yesterday, people approached Marigone afterwards.
Yeah.
Because they were a bit shy, maybe. So obviously, that's also a possibility. But if you like to ask any questions, we also have the digital world with us. Maybe they'd also be happy to hear some more. Here we go.
Hello everyone. My name is Marco from Serbia. What I want to ask is, you said that you survey all the building like a hotel with many rooms, like 70 rooms, something like that. In how many days?
You are scanning a hotel with many rooms in how many days?
Yes, you mentioned
the
a project.
you scanned. Okay, how many days that was?
It was in 2 days. It was 2 long days, like from 7 to 5. 4 or 5.
You use this one.
Yes.
How many of those?
We did actually with one of them. In 2 days, 550 room. Yeah, and I have my colleague here that did it. So
great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the question. Anyone else? No. Then thank you all for having taken the time. And if you like to see more, we have a bunch of VLXs and colleagues who are happy to tell you more also from the technical side. Thank you, everyone.